Okay,
Sure.
cool. Thank
Sure.
you.
Yep.
All right, I clicked go live. Hello, are we back? Are we
Hello.
live? Hi, everyone. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I still can't really see the chat, I think, so we're going to do a workaround where Eric is going to be reading your comments from the chat for us. So thank you so much for your patience. Thank you also to our guests, Barbara and Vanya, who are here for our third Octo Sparks theme of connecting with nature. This is a really, really exciting one. Oh, I see the chat. Amazing. Okay, great. Hi, Peter. Hi, Jenny. We have some folks saying hello already, settling in. Star All Play Fun. Hi. Okay, great. Woo! We've sorted that out. Let's see. João, hello. Hello. And as we're settling in, and also as a way for our guests to say a quick hello, I thought we could do a little warm-up question related to the theme. So the question would be, how have you most recently connected with nature? So write in the chat your most recent connection. And maybe Barbara, do you have an answer for how you've most recently connected with nature?
Oh, well, yes. This morning while walking to the office, I always go through the garden. We have a beautiful park around the office. And I met.
Oh, and where do you live, Barbara?
Oh, yes, of course. I live in Reggio Emilia, Italy.
In Italy.
And by the way, today, here is the first day of spring. I don't know if it's the same to all the...
Yeah, spring equinox is the 19th. Yes, it's the first day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I met 3 of the cats that lives in this park. And they, were looking at me like I'm the intruder because, of course, I'm a youth crossing their garden. Yeah, so it was nice. I mean,
Beautiful.
I love cats, and yeah,
they're always there. Those 3 cats. I love a neighborhood cat.
they live there. Yeah, they live there. Yes.
And Vanya, where are you joining us from? And how had you most recently connected with nature?
So I'm joining from Bangalore, India, and today was a real connect to nature because we took a walk to the lake, but it was really hot. It was nice. We saw lots of different trees, we saw lots of different birds, we saw lots of different things, but it was really hot. So we went to the lake to collect images to actually create different things on OctoStudio. So my whole class today, we were taking picture. And then we came back and we were thinking, what can we do to kind of tell others about things we saw?
I love that. Yeah, it's so nice that you can just take your phone out in OctoStudio anywhere you want to create your projects and draw inspiration. And we're going to be talking about this type of Wonder Walk project today. We're actually going to be making a Wonder Walk project together, which I'm really excited about. And let's see if there's what have people said in the chat. Let's see. So Peter says that he did a long walk with his son in the forest. Star All Play Fun I remember this. Star All Play Fun is one of our most prolific OctoStudio project makers, tutorial makers, and they said that they made a gardening game in OctoStudio. It's real nice. And our friend Jenny says, walking on the beach. Love that. And for me, I connect with nature every day through my planted aquarium. Maybe some of you have noticed the background today is a little bit different. I'm in my room, live from my room with my snails, who will soon be getting a closer look at. So Vanya already gave us a little preview about what project theme we're going to be working on and talking about today, the Wonder Walk. I think maybe we'll go to an example of what a Wonder Walk project in OctoStudio is. So bear with me also, friends, because I'm doing all of the technical things today as well. So it might be a little bit of time between things. So we'll first start off with, so this is a project that Mitch Resnick from the Lifelong Kindergarten Group made for Wonder Walk.
It makes me sad when I see that a tree has been cut down. I wonder why it was cut down. I like seeing my shadow mixed with the shadow of the tree. In late afternoon, my shadow was really long. I wonder what it looks like at other times during the day. These roots made it much easier for me to climb the hill, but I wonder if I'm hurting the tree when I step on its roots. I wondered why all the branches on this tree are on one side. Is there more sunlight over there?
Nice. Okay, so that kind of project is one where you can really go in nature, like Vanya was saying, and take pictures and use that time to really deeply observe things around you and notice new things, notice the questions that come up and things that you wonder about. Let's show maybe another example, and this is from one of Vanya's students, Pranati.
Come with me for a wonder walk. There's so many little things around us that we never notice, much less wonder about. I wonder what these white things are. Are they the eggs of an insect? Or some sort of secretion of the plant? I wonder why it is on some plants and not all. Is it a symbiotic relationship? I wonder.
Yeah, so in the chat, what do you think about this kind of project, the Wonder Walk project? Because we're going to be doing one, but it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to take a wonder walk inside of my aquarium. So I have so many pictures from my aquarium. And I started out like a project template, and it'll be sort of like I made a little snail friend out of an egg carton. And it'll be like the snail is giving a tour to the OctoStudio mascot. So we'll look at some pictures. And I invite you all to look really closely at the pictures, right? I'll pause for a little bit of time at each one and just notice what you see that's unusual or different or cool or interesting. Take note of that. Take note of any questions that you may have or wonderings that you may have and write them in the chat, because that's what we're going to use for the project. Sound good? And this time, Vanya and Barbara, you will be able to see what I am sharing. So let's see. We'll do here. Great. And then I have a little magnet here, so that's how we're going to see different pictures. So here's one picture of the tank overview. This is kind of what it looks like from the top. I see Barbara and Vanya have big smiles. Are you already thinking anything, wondering anything?
Well, your snails are gorgeous. I've
Aw.
never seen this kind of snails. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's all of them eating.
There are dark areas and then there are light areas, and I'm imagining you can do something through the dark to the light.
Yeah, you mean with the arrangement of the plants?
Yeah.
What about the colors? Are those their natural colors?
Yeah.
Ah.
And there's lots of interesting things about the colors, because there's a lot of like genetics involved with what color they'll turn out. So I just had a bunch of babies of these kinds, the ram's horn snails, and they're all different colors, which is really cool to notice. Here's another picture.
The bright orange, pinky orange one was a snail, is it? I've never seen it that colorful.
Oops, I went fast through that one. Another picture. Another picture. Yeah, this one I really like to notice the patterns that they leave behind.
Yes.
Oops, I went fast through that one. So, yeah, so if anyone wants to see the pictures again, I can run through some of them again. But let me know what questions you already have, what you saw in there, what you noticed, and then together we're gonna add all of our noticings and wonderings into the project in just a little bit. But while everybody is typing in the chat, I thought it would be a good time to do a little more of an intro with our guests. So I want to start with Barbara. You want to talk a little bit about Reggio, and also I know that you guys have done a lot of work with kids and nature specifically for many, many years. So why is that focus in the relationship between kids and nature so important?
Yeah, well, in Reggio Emilia work for a foundation that is called the Reggio Children Foundation, and it's a foundation that works in the field of research in education. And our foundation was born after the experience, the important educational experience and philosophy that was born in Reggio Emilia many years ago, basically after the Second World War. Mm-hmm. And it develops around the idea that, children and human beings are competent in learning. And that's why, since learning is something that implies the use of all senses and the whole body, and we are nature as well. It's not
Very
that
true.
we are something
separate from
we're
nature.
part of it. Yes, this idea of interconnection with living beings, but also not living things. There's a lot of work that we do at the foundation, trying to connect nature with many possibilities, and especially we have developed this concept of natural digital, because we think that what we call digital as well is natural in some way. And anyway, when we think about children, it's like they have this a very clear idea of the interconnection of things. It's like an ecological vision that they have of life. That's why it's very interesting to work with them, having as a background or being immersed in nature. They can always show us a different way of, a different point of view, a different perspective on things. Yes, so that's one of the reasons why we work a lot around topics related to nature. In the foundation, we especially are exploring the plant world.
I have some pictures to share from a recent workshop, right? Let's see.
Yes, yes, we developed some workshops since October when OctoStudio was launched, and some of them are around the idea of recreating a jungle, or trying to connect with nature, trying to understand how, for example, plants communicate, if they communicate, and how do they communicate with each other. And so asking children, but also adults, to play with it, to try to understand together through the use of OctoStudio how to create connections. And so and so someone has created this possibility to connect different kind of leaves, for example, that they touch each other and communicate in this way. Or there's the idea that can send like vibrations or something and create connections. Or also the possibility to talk, like they say the trees talk to each other with some, movements, moving the leaves.
Yeah, you said so many really interesting things. Let's see. The thing with like the involving all of your senses and learning, I think about that a lot because I think about like sometimes a lot of classroom settings. It's very, all of the senses are very almost like static, you know, like the room temperature is the same and the walls look the same day in and day out. And I compare it to like being in nature where even when you think you're in a tranquil sounding place, if you really focus, you can hear so many different noises like insects, birds, the leaves rustling. You feel like the temperature on your skin change as the sun goes behind a cloud and comes back out, right? Such a rich sensory experience to be out in nature.
Yes, yes. And of course, we get an impression of what we have around us through all our senses, but sometimes we just focus on some of them. Like the possibility, the sights, like what we see in our contemporary age, in our time, we focus a lot on what we see. Yes, yes, instead of what we hear or what we, smell or or touch.
And I'm also really inspired by sort of the Reggio way of really seeing children as creators of knowledge and as like people who can really come up with their own theories and ideas about the world. So I love this activity of asking children to what are your theories about how plants communicate? I think that could be really inspiring for other educators to create activities around as well.
These days we're working with primary school kids, and it's surprising how they, observing, after the observations, they have their own hypotheses, and then they want to experience, try to understand if what they think it's then what it is and how. So yes, they construct their learning. It's a way, yes,
Wonderful.
It's a way that.
Yeah. And then Vanya, you also teach college students, right, at a art, design, technology school, Srishti Manipal. Do you want to say a little bit about that? And I also know that a lot of your work is connected to nature and the environment and the sustainability. So why is it important for you to share the natural world as part of this art, design, technology education for young adults, for young people?
I worked with children and I worked with teachers, but I work a lot with undergraduate students. And that's I do at Srishti. Nature is something that everything connects to. So if I want to learn, nature can be a starting point. If I want to design, nature actually is again a starting point. But with OctoStudio, it's really nice because you can bring nature into technology and do things. And that's really fun. I think often in schools, at least in India, you don't have creative ways of doing things. And OctoStudio has this real capacity to be multimodal, meaning you can use visuals, you can use the sound, you can use touch, there's so many things. And actually the computer does allow for that. And so this is one place where you start beginning to think of all the different things that possibly could happen. So for my design students, often it looks a little simple, but it's the starting and you can do so much. And that's fun. Also at Srishti, I use the space, to make students more aware of their surroundings and to think about it and to wonder about it and to kind of explore it. But I'm also looking at their projects as something that we can actually see possibilities of other people doing. So I'm hoping to actually work with government school children. And they won't manage to do as fast as my Srishti students would, but can most probably, I worked with children and I know that they're capable of doing lots. So even a little 7-year-old, but OctoStudio is able to bring maps alive, do things, and that's really fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. And also what you were just saying about with OctoStudio being very multimodal, I feel like that connects to what Barbara is saying also about the multi-sensory learning, right? Because that we can make visual projects in OctoStudio, but we also incorporate sound. You can incorporate vibrations. You can incorporate movement with the tilt and the accelerometer. So I feel like there's definitely a big connection there between learning from all of your senses and making OctoStudio projects, taking advantage of all of these different ways that you can, you know, move and sight and sound. And okay, there's some interesting things happening in the chats. People were typing so fast and I was like, oh no, trying to keep up. But people were saying, well, one, Barbara, somebody asked, is that an OctoStudio plushie behind you? Is that an OctoStudio plush in the background? So I think people are noticing. Yeah, where is that plushie
Yeah,
from?
I'll show you.
Mhm.
Yeah. This one.
It's so cute.
Yes, because in November we did the launch of Octo Studio in Italy, and
Yeah.
so Mitch Resnick shared it with our president, and today I stole it from her office and I brought it me.
For the background.
Yes.
That's funny. That's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah, to be next to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then people had some noticings and some comments from our aquarium walk as well. So let's see. They said the snail is cute. Sasha says the snail is cute. RuPaul asked, did you place them together or did they find each other? I think because of the picture where they're all grouped up together. It's amazing. It's so colorful. I love the way they're hugging the glass like they're saying hi. People also were noticing, Barbara, when you're talking about interconnectedness, people said in the chat, yes to interconnectedness. So I think that resonated. And our friend Natalie says, I really like recognizing that we're part of nature. And I also wondered if the snails are eating on the glass, which is a really good question. Let's see. Interesting about paying attention to our different senses. It makes me wonder if you can hear the snails at all. And then RuPaul also says, I keep thinking of the sound the snails must make as they move across the glass of the tank. Maybe like a noodle slurping sound. You know, it's really funny because, you know, from this, all the sounds are happening under the water, so I don't hear anything. But kind of recently, I tried to put an underwater camera in my tank just to get a different perspective of pictures. And when I was watching the video, I was so surprised by how much sound is happening in the tank. So that's definitely something that I want to investigate more. But I could hear, for example, as the snail's moving and they move some of the pebbles that I have, I could hear the pebbles like clinking against each other and things like that. I was like, wow, there's actually so much sound probably happening in here that I don't get to hear. But let's go into our creation time for project, because it feels like we have some really good wonderings already. All right, so there's our project. So I'm gonna do a quick little swipe through some of the backgrounds because we can pick out some of our wonderings. I think that, yeah,
Wow.
We don't have to use all of these, but we had some wonderings. So I think maybe this one with all of the snails is good. Yes.
This one is interesting because we can imagine what they're saying to each other.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good idea. Okay, so we'll definitely use this one. And then let's see. Oh, you had a good, Vanya, you had a comment about the color of this one, right?
And I love the way it's curled on top of the leaf. It almost looks like it's part of the leaf. And then you look at it a little more closely and you think, it's actually a snail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm often kind of impressed when they're hanging on to something just by a little bit like this. I'm like, you must be pretty strong. We definitely had a question in the chat wondering about what if they're eating the glass. I think we should have this one. So we have 3 pictures so far. How do we feel about that? Any more? There's this one. There's this one. Let's see. Oh, Cheeseburger Stuff is asking, what project are we making? We're making a Wonder Walk project, but we're imagining that we're taking a Wonder Walk in my planted aquarium. So we're wondering and noticing things from the pictures that I have that are in this project.
Yes.
Let's see. So maybe I'll delete this one. And I'll delete this one. And this one. And this one. Okay, great. So we have our beginning photo. We have this one. We have the one of them all together. Then we have the ram's horn one hanging off the edge of the leaf. Oh yeah, maybe I'll delete this one as well. And then we have the one of the glass. So where should we start, friends? What should our next thing be? So the way the project works is whenever the magnet, which is behind the little snail friend that I made, passes by, it'll change the background. So we can have something happen at each background, right?
Yeah.
Where should we begin?
I would start from the gossip snails.
The gossiping snails, this one?
Yeah. One together, like for sure they're, telling secrets one to the other.
That's really good.
About what's happening in their aquarium. What's new in the aquarium.
So first we'll do, so the first magnet will go to the gossiping snails. And Rupal had a question. So it was like, I wonder if I put them, what was your question again, Rupal, in the chat? It was like, I wonder if I put them there or if they found each other. Maybe it's gonna be like, I wonder how they all found each other. What do you all think?
Oh, well, there are two yellow snails. Maybe they are from the same family.
They could be related, yeah. They could be related. They do spend a lot of time together, the two golden ones. They're almost always together in the tank.
Ah, okay.
Theo, I'm wondering how you did that next one, because I can't see next one on my OctoStudio.
Oh, so if you go to the set backdrop block and you tap in the middle, that gives you many options. So you can do, the arrows, so previous or next. You can also do random.
Oh.
And you can also do, set to like a specific background.
And sorry, can you reorganize it so that it goes from the next to the next, or once you uploaded it, is it the same way that it always works?
You can, we can keep this like this, like every time the magnet will just go to the next. And then it's also, that you should also at the beginning of your project, so I have here setting the first backdrop when play. And then I have here with the magnet code. Whenever the magnet happens, we'll go to next. And then I think we can do something like, if we go in the hat block category, the when to start category with the yellow, we can say like when the backdrop switches to, for example, the gossiping snails, we can do some things, right? So we can maybe write some text about what we notice or what we wonder. So I think it was, I wonder how they found each other. Found each other. So that was one. Oh, and a lot of people don't ask me this like in workshops, but you can make the text smaller just by pinching. Yeah. And then what was your other wondering, Barbara? You said something about the two golden snails.
Oh, well, I don't know. What can a snail think in an aquarium? I didn't have the experience yet.
Oh, you said, I wonder if they're related, the two golden snails.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Let's do that.
Yeah, my question is this one. I was thinking to what they're saying, to what their question may be.
Somebody in the chat, JH, also said about gossiping snails. Oh, no, what? I missed it. Where did it go? I wonder if they get together to talk about you, Teo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking that maybe you think that you're observing them, but they're also observing you.
Oh, they are definitely observing me. They know, I have one of the blue ones. I have a little blue one. And if I'm out of my room and then I walk in, he hears me walk in and he'll be on the glass. He hears me walk in and he'll let go and float down to hide. Because he's a scaredy cat. He's a scaredy one.
So they're bright colors, is it? So those green ones are also snails, is it?
Yeah. So I have a purple one, a blue one, and 2 golden ones. And then a lot of the pink, orangey, small ones. Yeah.
Okay, I've only seen brown, gray, white. I haven't seen, I don't know, maybe there are in India, but I haven't seen these.
I think that these are rarer colors. Yeah, they're like a recessive gene that gives them the brighter colors. We have another. A lot of people in the chat are wondering what the snail think. So I'm gonna add what does the snail think in one of our next slides. So let's see, what's our other background? So it's this one. Oh, this one.
This one. Yeah.
So when it switches to the one of our friend curled up at the very edge of the leaf, what are we wondering about? And for now I'm using the text block, but we can always go back and add sounds or more sprites, glows, etc.
I imagine.
Yeah, what do you imagine?
Yeah, it's trying to move. I don't have now the word in English, like, like I'm doing, like, following the water, the move. Well, maybe the water does not move a lot, but a little bit.
There's definitely
floating. Yeah, it's floating while hanging to the leaf.
Is it?
Maybe it's wondering that nobody can see it. Just like I thought it was part of the leaf itself. So like camouflage.
Yes.
Is it camouflaging? I'm gonna say, is it
There's
floating?
this idea that if I hide my head underneath the sand, then nobody can see me. But this is, if I act like a leaf, then nobody can see me.
Is it I don't know that I know how to spell camouflaging, but I would think camouflaging.
Yes.
Is it like this?
Wow.
It's okay either way. That's a good insight, Vanya. Sometimes they do like to hide. Yeah, they do like to hide themselves under the leaves. I'm gonna do a quick chat check-in. Cheeseburger stuff says, I didn't know you can pinch to make the text smaller. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, a lot of people ask me, I want to move this text, and yeah, you can just go in and move it around with your finger, pinch to make it smaller. Also change like the font. I like the handwriting font. Change that there for now, in the colors. So tips about the text.
You can change the background of the thing so that it either stands out or merges in,
Oh,
or
yeah,
even
true.
that this thing, that basically I can have even an alpha, which means it's only the text.
Yeah, this makes it look really nice and like clean, I think, to do a little bit of a transparent background. Maybe we can go in at the end and change them all. Let's see, in the chat, what were other things that we were wondering about? I can also go full screen here and we can look at some more pictures again. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to change it to here. Here, that's better. So there was this one. Somebody asked, how did the gossiping snails meet?
What do they eat?
Oh, that's a good one. Actually, what do they eat? So let's put it in one of these pictures. Maybe we can go to this one. Is it camouflaging? Maybe we can do This one, yeah. So when it changes to this, the one with the aquarium glass, we can say, what do they eat?
Yes.
And I can tell you what they eat in a minute. I wonder what they eat. So the picture in the glass, this one is eating the algae that grows naturally on the in the aquarium. They like algae. They like, because you see I have a lot of plants, and plants, they have their own life cycle. They shed leaves, they die, they grow new leaves. So they really like to eat decaying plant matter also. And oh, I'm in the wrong view for now. And I also do feed them like vegetables, blanched vegetables like broccoli and carrots. I actually recently got something called Snello, which is baby food, blanched vegetables, like human baby food, river shrimp, and calcium added, and it's all blended up with gelatin. And so it's like little cubes of, superfood for them, and they really like it. And I had actually just put a little bit here, hoping that they would come out and we could see some of them move during the stream. Oh, we have, let's see, another snail lover in the chat says, snails and slugs have evolved to eat just about everything. They are herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous, and the tritivorous, which I think means they eat waste and things like that. Decaying matter. Snello. That was from...
In my garden, snails can be quite difficult. They can chew up your all the lettuce. They can go...
Yeah, sometimes they're past and they
we've got these
invade.
big African snails. They're these like really big things, and then they move around.
Yeah, I've heard that they're pretty invasive. Oh no, somebody in the chat says, I realize the octopus eats snails. Oh no. But they can still be friends. They can still be friends. So let's see. I think maybe one more wondering for our project. So we have 5. What else do we wonder about this last picture here?
Something about their habits, like
I was wondering what those, is it the light that's making those bubbles, or is it the snails that make bubbles?
It's their, they're sort of like eating the algae on the glass, and they leave behind a trail, like a pattern.
Okay.
So you're like, I wonder what this pattern on the glass is. I think that's a good wondering.
yes.
Yeah. Ooh, I exited a little too early. Okay, so let's see how it's turning out. Oops, I keep going to the wrong views for the creating and the sharing. This is why I really appreciate Eric doing this work for me usually. All right, so let's see. We have a little snail friend. Just gonna go in with the, oh, I have to press play. We go in with the magnet to change. I wonder how they all found. Oh, I pressed too fast. Oh, some of these are very fast.
Yes.
Maybe you need to add a little bit of weights there, or maybe you need to add...
Yes.
There is weight, no? You said 4 seconds or something. Weight.
I don't think I changed all of them, so let's see.
Oh, some of them are 2.
Yeah. So let's do
I saw
that.
some of them are 4, but maybe when it's 2, it's just too fast.
It is too fast, I agree. So maybe I changed them all to 4 now. Let's see. I wonder how they all found each other. I wonder if the two golden snails are related. By the way, they all found each other there because I had put some food there. So they were all on top of the food eating it. That's the answer to that. And I don't really know if the two golden snails are related. They definitely could be. And they seem to like each other a lot, to always be together. So I'm going to maybe say that they're twins. Is it floating? Is it camouflaging? Yeah, I think that it was trying to be one with the leaf.
Yeah.
I wonder what they eat. They could eat anything. And I wonder what this pattern on the glass is. And then somebody in the chat also asked, does each snail have a different pattern that they make?
Mm.
And they all make these little ball patterns. But I've noticed that some of the snails, they have different areas that they prefer to go on the glass. So when one area is really clean, I kind of know who did it. And also one of them is really big, is like much bigger than the other two. And so when the trail is really wide, then I know who did it too. Yeah. Okay. So that was really fun. I could see myself continuing this project later and like adding more sounds and making the text look prettier. Do you two have any ideas for what else I could do with this?
I really like it when you actually record your own voice and then you can change it into either your voice, a voice higher pitched or a voice lower pitched. And
Yeah.
that makes it fun.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Any more ideas in the chat?
It also might be nice to have some background music. So just like, so the whole thing, while this is playing, something else happens. So there's always this music, when the music could also change because of different screens, different backgrounds.
Yeah. We're going back to engaging all of our senses, right? It's not just like a visual project. We could play some music, maybe even make the phone shake. That reminds me also, Vanya, that I know about your work with thinking hands. And I think that's also related to like engaging all of your senses. Do you want to share a little bit about thinking hands, what it is, what the learning idea behind it is?
So long time ago, 2006, something like that, we decided that actually children shouldn't learn by teachers telling them things, but could they learn by actually making things? And we had these things about boxes, and basically then you can actually learn angles, distances, lots of things. But when this was a long time ago, and Scratch was just started, and there were these nice pico crickets. They were kind of little big things. We made a whole set of things where we made these insects that kind of had these legs that you could automate by moving a crank. But we also had these pico crickets hidden inside it. It was quite chunky. And then you could actually go close to it, but so it's a bit like an Arduino, but Arduino is really complicated, whereas this was it was really simple. Yeah. And then, so you kind of covered it, and therefore when it made some noise because it was dark, or you kind of touched it, and then so this idea of thinking hands. And I think what's interesting is that playing with your phone is also thinking hands. So by making physically, but you can think by coding as well, because if you're actually imagining and then creating and then sharing and then imagining again, then definitely you're thinking, and it's definitely your fingers that are doing it.
That's really interesting, because I think there's this debate, right, about like phones and how do they fit into learning, and do they help or hinder, and also in connecting with nature, like what's the role of our phones with that? Do they help or hinder? And I'm wondering, Barbara, do you have thoughts about this topic?
Yeah, of course, because I mean, now smartphones are part of our life, even if, we would like to, let's say, restrict their use or not, but everyone has a smartphone now, also kids, hopefully not too young, but I mean, my daughter has one since she was 11. So the idea to restrict the use of smartphones in educational context, I can understand it, but at the same time, I think that we as educators have to ask ourselves, how can we contribute to a use of the smartphone that is not passive, that is not, so an active use, a creative way of using it. And I think that OctoStudio is something that in this sense can really help us, because it's not that you have you can invent your game, you can use it in the nature, but everywhere, wherever you are. I remember that I read an article that Mitch Resnick wrote, saying there are kids that said, "Oh, while I'm at the supermarket, sometimes waiting in the queue, I use the OctoStudio. I spend my time on the smartphone." So you can do it in a different way. There is more. That is involving also your possibility to think and invent and create.
Yeah.
Not just as a user, but as a creator.
Because it really is a pretty powerful tool, right? When you think about it, like even in the name OctoStudio talks about like there's the camera, there's the microphone, you can draw, you can record things. There's so many different ways to bring different thinking and different modes of expression into one place. But yeah, I think I also think about that a lot, like so many parents, and even for myself, like sometimes I'm worried, like, oh, I think I spend a lot of time consuming things on my phone, right? And balancing that consumption with also creating things, right? Like I think it's cool to be inspired by things and like see that, and I like that I can see things that inspire me on my social media, but I'm also always trying to balance with like my own time to express myself and put my ideas out into the world. And I definitely feel what you said, Vanya, like when I'm making an OctoStudio project, and I often don't know exactly how I'm going to make it, right? I just start somewhere, and in the process of moving blocks around and changing things, I get a closer and closer idea to what the final project was. Even the project that we made today, I was kind of like, I don't know how we're going to do like the background things exactly, but I know that we will figure it out together. Yeah. Okay, let's do a little check-in in the chat. What are people saying? Cool project. Oh, Barbara's octopus is looking very interested in my snails. Jenny said. It's fun learning about snails. Star All Play Fun says we should make an arcade project. And Zinnia says, add slime that appears behind the snail wherever it walks. That's a really good one. That's a good idea. Yeah. Yes. Oh, you should add the sounds from the tank that you recorded. I like that too. Yeah. Great. Oh, cheeseburger. Oh, wait. Jenny says maybe the glow would look like they're leaving a trail. Oh, true. It does kind of, it can make like a yellowy or whitish glow around them as they move. Very cool.
Yeah, that would be cool, yes.
Yeah. So we're getting close to the end of our stream today. I want to really encourage folks in the chat to make projects about how you connect with nature. Try doing a wonder walk yourself, go to a place that you find tranquil, peaceful, connected with nature, and really, really take time to deeply observe, listen, engage all your senses like we've been talking about. How does the wind and the sun feel? What sounds can you hear if you really focus? How does the dirt or the sand feel in your hands? Like really get down in there. Once you're down there, you're also looking at things at a different level, right? So like what can you see if you get really up close to things in nature? And please share those projects with us on social media. Tag us at OctoStudio app or hashtag OctoStudio, because we would love to see what you're creating. And I'm wondering, any last messages? Barbara, Vanya? Any closing thoughts?
Even
Let's keep.
imagine the sounds. So we've been doing this thing of what would water sound like. So even if you don't have water, then you can actually create your own water sounds, which could be fun. Or what does dirt sound like? You can imagine.
So, do you think like with your mouth, or are you grabbing objects around you to make those sounds, or both?
Oh, I've been experimenting with actually just making sounds with your
With
recording.
your own
So you can,
voice?
yeah, and if you actually layer it enough, it doesn't really sound like you. It can sound like something else, which is fun. So that's been fun.
Yeah, well, I would encourage people to continue to use OctoStudio. Maybe what we do often is to use it in pairs. So to create, as we did today, because it's very, there's a lot of fun in creating something together. So I don't know, parents with their children, or friends.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would enjoy it a lot to create something together. So yeah, I would encourage everyone to try.
I love the way that Barbara, that you tried parents and their children. So that
Yes.
connection between parents and children is really
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, it
Where the
is really
parents,
nice.
yeah, because then you're actually creating together, and you're not instructing. You're kind of thinking, oh, and you're working together, which is fun. And
Yeah.
OctoStudio allows that, which is really
Yes.
good.
It's a good way to bond, spend creative time together, express yourselves together. And I've seen also, from my friends who are parents and make OctoStudio projects with their kids, and also in workshops, it's really cool to see how often like kids have these really great ideas, and the way that parents are reacting to those ideas, but also like parents can offer a lot of guidance and help executing those ideas. So I think that it's a really good interplay of everybody's strengths when there's intergenerational creating on OctoStudio. It's great.
Yeah. That's what it is. Yes.
Okay, let's see. I think we're almost, it's time to close. Cheeseburger Stuff says I'll make a project and tag you. Awesome. Can't wait. Yeah, and we will be making a nature compilation at the end of the month. So if you share your projects, we might include them. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Vanya.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
enjoy
you.
the rest of your
Bye-bye.
days, and we'll see you next month. Bye,
What's the
everyone.
topic for the next
Bye.
month?
Next month,
you.
we're going to
Bye-bye.
be, the theme will be, well, I think I can say, this is a little sneak
Oh,
peek
you
for
can-
those
oh.
on the live, but the theme will be World Beats, which will also be really fun and exciting. Yeah, I can't wait for that. It's going to be a party, basically. All right, see you then.
Bye.